Northern Cyprus is considered one of the safest places in Europe. The crime rate is very low, even at night. It's very suitable for families and children. If you value real safety for your family, quiet nights, worry-free walks home, kids playing in parks without a second thought, then keep watching, because what I'm about to tell you about Northern Cyprus will change the way you think about moving, traveling, or raising a family in the Mediterranean. If you're new here, subscribe to Cyprus Real View now and hit the bell so you don't miss real, on-the-ground reports about life, safety, and family living in Northern Cyprus. Northern Cyprus often surprises people who only know it from headlines or history books. Beyond the politics and the maps lies a place where everyday safety is one of the strongest selling points, where crime rates for violent and serious offenses are low compared with many European regions, and where families, from toddlers to grandparents, consistently report a sense of calm and normalcy that's rare in today's world. Walk the streets of Kyrenia, Gurney, at 10 p.m., and you'll see people dining al fresco, couples strolling, and families enjoying seaside promenades. You'll notice that bars and cafes close at sensible hours, that neighbors know one another, and that there's a steady, reassuring presence of local police and community watch efforts. For parents, that means fewer sleepless nights worrying about late returns from school or evening soccer practices. For retirees, it means the comfort of a neighborhood where doors are not bolted against the world but left open to guests and neighbors. Numerous expat guides and residency resources consistently describe Northern Cyprus as safe and family-friendly, highlighting low rates of violent crime and a strong local emphasis on hospitality and community cohesion, factors that translate directly into everyday peace of mind for newcomers and long-term residents alike. While no place is entirely free of risk, the most common issues visitors report are petty and preventable. Occasional pickpocketing in crowded tourist spots, or minor opportunistic thefts if belongings are left unattended. The kind of problems that sensible travel habits and basic precautions easily prevent. Importantly, official police data and government reports that cover Cyprus more broadly show that serious crime levels remain comparatively low, and public safety campaigns have been active in recent years to keep it that way. This is not a marketing line, but a pattern reflected in statistics and local policing priorities. What does low crime look like in practice? It looks like children walking to school with friends without an adult escort in many neighborhoods. It looks like playgrounds and parks where parents feel comfortable letting kids play. It looks like late-night bakeries and small corner shops that remain open because shopkeepers trust their community. And it looks like a social fabric where neighbors check in on one another and community events are common. These are subtle markers, but they matter enormously if your primary concern is security and a calm place to raise a family. Safety in Northern Cyprus is bolstered by cultural factors as well. A strong sense of local identity and hospitality encourages mutual respect among residents, while community norms discourage the kinds of public disorder you might see in denser, less cohesive cities. Local law enforcement tends to focus on maintaining visible order and responding quickly to reported incidents, and community policing initiatives, along with active neighborhood networks, often mean that issues are noticed and addressed before they escalate. For prospective residents, especially families considering relocation, the practical advantages are clear. Smaller class sizes in many international schools, neighbors who watch out for each other's children, and a slower, more relaxed pace of life that reduces everyday stress. For travelers, the low-crime environment means that exploring historic streets, beaches, and village markets can be done with a relaxed attitude. Standard travel common sense is sufficient to enjoy everything the North has to offer without constant vigilance. That said, it's crucial to be precise. Northern Cyprus is politically and legally distinct from the internationally recognized Republic of Cyprus in the south, and that distinction has practical consequences for consular support, legal frameworks, and certain services, something every traveler and immigrant should understand before they go. This political reality does not equate to higher ordinary crime. Rather, it affects how external governments and organizations formally interact with the area. For families, the quality of life benefits go beyond safety statistics. Healthcare facilities in key towns are accessible and community-oriented, and pharmacies are well stocked with common medicines. For specialized care, many residents use cross-border services or travel to nearby larger centers as needed. Schools, both international and local, often highlight small cohort sizes and attentive staff, which is a major draw for parents who value education and a nurturing environment. The coastal towns of Kyrenia and Famagusta, with their seaside promenades and family-friendly beaches, combine recreational life with tranquility, while smaller inland villages offer an even slower pace and often an extended family-like social structure that many expatriates find deeply comforting. Real-life testimonies from long-term residents echo the same theme. They moved for work, love, or a new start, and they stayed because the day-to-day experience matched their hopes for safety and community. Practical safety tips for families and visitors in Northern Cyprus mirror those anywhere that values security without paranoia. Keep valuables secure and out of sight in busy tourist areas. Use hotel safes. Be cautious with personal documents at borders and crossings. Supervise children near water and cliffs, as coastal geography can present natural hazards. And ensure that drivers and caregivers are properly licensed and insured. Embracing the local rhythm, learning a few phrases in Turkish, participating in neighborhood events, and building relationships with neighbors is itself a safety strategy. People who are known in their neighborhoods are less likely to be targeted by opportunistic criminals, and neighbors often become an informal safety net. For families weighing relocation options across Europe and the Mediterranean, Northern Cyprus offers a compelling mixture. Mediterranean climate, relatively low living costs compared with many EU cities, close-knit communities, and a security profile that supports active family life rather than imposing restrictions. If you're planning to stay long-term, investigate residency options and local services in advance. Look for communities with active expat groups, reputable international schools, and reliable healthcare providers. These practical steps will help ensure that the transition is smooth, and that the safety you see on the surface is reinforced by solid access to services. Another overlooked dimension of safety is environmental and disaster preparedness. Northern Cyprus authorities and communities are used to seasonal challenges like heat and occasionally wildfires. The local governments and volunteer organizations have response plans and community alerts to keep residents informed, and neighborhoods often have informal systems to look after vulnerable residents during periods of extreme weather. For families with children, this means that schools and local councils usually coordinate effectively to protect students during heat waves or other events. Economically, lower levels of petty crime and a stable local culture help small businesses thrive, which in turn strengthens local economies and social stability. Another circle of safety that benefits residents. Knowing the terrain also helps. The island is compact, distances are short, and in most towns you can reach emergency services quickly. Local emergency numbers and hospital contacts are publicized by municipalities and tourist information centers, and using them is straightforward. For new parents, finding pediatric care and community supports is usually a matter of asking local expat groups or municipal offices, both of which are responsive and welcoming. If you're a solo traveler, a student, or a retiree, the same basic advantages apply. A relatively low-crime environment allows visitors to explore historical sites, rural trails, and coastal roads with a respectful and relaxed mindset rather than fear. For solo female travelers, Northern Cyprus is widely reported as feeling safe at night in urban centers, though standard precautions about late-night transport and personal belongings are sensible. Importantly, if you're considering property investment or a permanent move, bear in mind the distinction between the north and south of the island in legal and diplomatic terms. Consult legal experts and use reputable real estate agents to ensure clarity on titles and local regulations. But in terms of daily living and family safety, many residents report that the north delivers what they were hoping for. stable neighborhoods, friendly neighbors, and the kind of peace that makes day-to-day life richer and calmer. In short, Northern Cyprus's reputation for high safety is supported by consistent local experience, visible, community-focused policing, cultural norms that favor respect and hospitality, low rates of violent crime, and the practical reality of neighborhoods where families feel they can live without constant anxiety. Of course, no destination is perfect, and staying informed, subscribing to local community pages, registering with your embassy if appropriate, and keeping up with municipal alerts is always wise. If you're already imagining playdates on the beach, family dinners on warm terraces, and bedtime stories in a quiet town with the sea as a lullaby, that vision is realistic here. Northern Cyprus offers a tangible, everyday safety that makes those simple pleasures possible and sustainable. Call to action, end. If this sounds like the kind of safe, family-friendly life you want to explore more deeply, give this video a thumbs up, share it with anyone thinking of moving to or visiting Northern Cyprus, and subscribe to Cyprus Real View. I'll bring you more honest, practical, up-to-date reports about neighborhoods, schools, healthcare, and everything families need to know to feel secure and settled.